up into this position here, like this space, and then a brave soul who's willing to die comes up and tries to plant. And how many times have you tried to plant here and you just get sprayed down through a smoke?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, right? So if you look at this pro example, notice their comp, guys. They don't have Harbor or Gecko or Sage. Those are the agents you would have if you wanted to get a safe plant down. They don't have any of that. So notice their response is to just keep, they're going to tap, but they're going to fight. Because they know if they try to tap plant, they could easily get utiled or spammed or whatever. So they choose to fight. It's definitely an atypical map design. Like mid is not used very often because if we look at mid here, it doesn't really offer you too much because like if you do a mid A split like this, you have this whole area and here that could all hurt you from going into A, and it doesn't really give you that much space going onto site, So like mid A splits, not very common. Mid B splits are more common, and the maps change, so it's a little easier to do B splits, but it's really, you're not going to rely on a B split like you would on Ascent. On Ascent, like a B split super common. What is mid used for then? What do you guys think?
Lurkin.
Like
Lurkin.
rotates, cutting off
Yeah.
rotates.
Lurkin, cutting off rotates. Yeah, like defender aggros are really good because if you like get an op onto this angle, for example, you can hold the entire rotate. And when you look at different maps, like let's say Pearl, I know this example here. If you want to contain the enemies in this space, you have to get all the way up in their business up here. But the cool thing about Icebox is you don't have to get up in their business. You can just hold this op angle here, and the only thing that can stop you is a Viper Smoke. And not everyone's going to throw a Viper Smoke there. But you can completely contain the enemies by just holding mid in either direction here. Like, if we see all 5 enemies are B, say we throw a KO knife or a Silva Dart gets all 5, if we get someone on this angle, we know that they're contained B, and then the entire defenders can rotate to deny B. And if we see them rotating back, we have enough time to rotate quickly and get onto site. So that's kind of, mid is used for lurks, and when you're on defense, it's used for denying rotates typically. You get some aggro stuff in here, but mid's not something you rely on to win the game for sure, because it's a very awkward space on the map. Yeah, rushing is really good on A. It's so good that I actually recommend you guys the first 5 rounds of the game or so, you just try A/B rushing or just rush A bunch, and in your scrims especially, really work on your pathing on A. We actually have a clip that'll show how to path onto A site, but if you have a powerful A rush, if it's good enough, the enemies could have 4 people here and still lose. That's how good A hits can be, because it's just so open. There's such open space. There's not just one choke the defenders have to worry about. They have to worry about zip, pipes, and possibly a mid lurk, but really it's just too big of a choke to deny with a Viper Molly, which on other maps a Viper Molly completely stops push. A Viper Molly on this map does not stop the push at all, right? So rushes are really good on A. On B, rushes are also really good. Just the tricky part is getting the spike plant and knowing what to do in the post plant, and we'll go over that later. But if I were to say macro strategy for you guys as an IGL or as teammates on a team, what should your strategy be on attack? It would be utilize mid as a way to lurk every once in a while. Make sure you want to have the defenders be worried about you taking the space, but you're not necessarily taking it every round. Try your A rushes. A rushes can be really strong if they don't have a response to it. And then same thing with B, see if their B's weak. And you're just kind of limit testing the opponents. And if your rushes aren't working, what do you think we should do after that?
Evil.
Fully contact up.
Contact up's actually, that's actually a clip I have for you guys. So yeah, that's a good eco strat. But when we default on A, or when we default on Icebox, and that's the right answer to default, basically we're just gonna play weak side, over here, or it doesn't matter where, but you're getting info on defender aggression, So we're just getting info on these, and then we're taking space up to like this point. If we're doing like a B default, this is like a B default. An A default is we get info on the B push. We have somebody watching the B push like here, and then we get up to this space on A, and then we have someone watching mid or a turret watching mid. And basically that's like a default. And then we can go back and forth depending on where the weak side is, basically. So that's kind of like a summary on the strategy. Enough yappy yappy. Let's look at some clips. Let's see. Let's look at a B push here.
That time of day and it actually doesn't go your way, all of a sudden your economy's bad. Now MIBR is snowballing you. Here's that operator from Icebox though.
Gonna get challenged early on, as will Shenum. Will fall, the op does not connect. Forced to take a step back, thrown in reverse. And he's gonna have to continue backing up.
Yeah, blistering pace. I mean, if Furia can get this spike planted unscathed. Ooh.
My ult's ready.
Icebox connecting onto one.
Spike planted.
Just
Wow.
narrowly missing the second. Again, the aggressive swing out from Heat. It's proving to be a little bit too much for Icebox here. Now you take a look at the economy.
Yeah, so that's basically round over from there. But what do we notice from this push? Maybe this compared to your ranked games.
Kind of like a coordinated
Wow.
pop.
Hey
Yes.
guys, we just played
Nice.
Icebox.
All right, all right.
Oh, I got 2 RR.
We're mid class, guys. So unless you have a question, please mute. Okay, so Nico, what were you gonna say?
It was like like they worked up until main and then they kind of just explode at the same time.
Yeah, you're kind of like one group and you just push through. What happens in ranked, that doesn't. This is basically what happens in ranked, and I don't want to see this in your games unless you have a very specific comp. Okay, is your teammates like you call a B rush and you'll run up and maybe one person will go yellow. If there's a defender here, this guy dies, and then it's like we kind of get stuck here, you know. In best case, we get like up into this position here, like this space, and then a brave soul who's willing to die comes up and tries to plant. And how many times have you tried to plant here and you just get sprayed down through a smoke?
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard, right? So if you look at this pro example, what the pros did here, which is notice their comp, guys, on attack. They don't have Harbor or Gecko, and those are kind of or Sage. Those are the agents you would have if you wanted to get a safe plant down. They don't have any of that. So notice their response is to just keep. They're gonna tap, but they're gonna fight because they know if they try to tap plant, they could easily get utiled or spammed or whatever. So they choose to fight, which is interesting. So that this clip kind of talks about B, but it also leads me into the conversation about comp. Okay, I know we had some conversations in a couple team channels on what to play for Icebox, and there's a lot to consider, right? I would say, since I said earlier, like the game comes down to your ability to apply fundamentals, not apply like utility as much. You want to go more into a comfort comp. Now, I will tell you the core is going to be, this is what I want everyone to run. KJ, Viper, Jet. Actually, no, not Jet. Sova. This is like your core. This has been an Icebox staple for years. Like since Icebox has come out, this has kind of been the core. So I want you guys to run these 3. And then after that, Jet's the best main duelist on this map. But, you know, I'm willing to maybe you guys try something else, but really Jet's going to be just the best pick. And then the last one is like kind of your flex. So it's if you want to do a double controller, it would be like a Clove or a Harbor. Where's Harbor? Or Harbor. Double controller is good. You could also do double duelist is good if you're playing comfort. So that would be like a Reyna or a ISO. So that's acceptable. You could do, let me go down to that comp. Chamber as double senti That's pretty good. Chamber's
What about
always
double
been good on this
initiator?
map. And then double initiator is really
Okay, alright.
you can go KO, Gecko, um,
Tejo?
and
We were
Tejo.
running Tejo.
Yep, and Tejo. Yeah. Yeah, those are all
I got a
good.
question.
Yeah.
If you run single smoke Viper, do you just wall B every time and just no smokes for A? Or do you like
Yes.
wall A?
I'm actually going to go through the core one by one and show you the setups that you need for your core. So that I'll do Viper first. Viper lineups. First one's a smoke. Get in this corner. Aim up here. Run and throw. Go in there. Block this peak. Pretty cool. Same spot. Almost the same spot. You're going to line up like here. And then aim at the same spot. That's your post plant molly. Pretty cool. For mid, if you want to do a mid lurk smoke, it only works if they really don't have a KJ or anything watching it. You throw there. And then it blocks off mid. Now on defense, you're going to come up and you're going to do this wall on top floor 10. That's basically your wall. That's like your retake and your holding sight wall. And then after you throw that, you're going to come over. You need to do this at the beginning of the round so you have enough time. You're going to come over, and you guys can learn a lineup for this, but you can just toss it up there, and that's like your one-way smoke here. And it's also a one-way here as well. So that's your Viper setup. And then when you're playing B, you're just playing to deny plant. So you kind of just play like this, you know, or you play up here or behind the wall, deny plant. That's kind of your job as Viper. So
I have a question.
yeah, what's up?
I know Viper's like why is Viper used so much more than Harbor? They have like similar kits, but like Harbor's never picked. Unless it's like
Well, Harbor is just kind of a doo-doo agent. I'm not gonna lie. He's only good on this map pretty much. But Viper, it's rechargeable, so it comes back later. So that's very useful for like retakes, post plants, early round. You can't really like the benefit of this is you could keep putting it up, and it always threatens a lurk because you could always lurk around this wall. You know. Actually, I think I even see pros go like this, like that, and then they can lurk around the wall like this. You know. But Harbor, once you throw the wall, you've thrown the wall, right? So it would only really work if you're just doing a rush comp, or if you're just rushing every round. But it works well with Viper because you can do both the rush stuff with Harbor and cover like all of the like. Let me look at A here. You'll see this in some of the clips too. But like you'll see something like this, you know, and it covers a lot of sight, and the enemies have to when they push through. It's bad, but it's just kind of harder to default with Harbor. You can use these to help you get space. Like this is a good wall I see pros do to get up A. But Viper's just going to be really good. And the postman utility is super good for Viper. So, but since I'm on Harbor, I'll just go over Harbor really quick. If no one on your team has played Harbor in ranked, which I bet is the vast majority of you, because Harbor has the lowest pick rate in ranked. I wouldn't play him, guys, because what Harbor's going to do is you're just going to go into a play style where you just cove and plant and play back. And like I said, fundamentals are going to win you these games. It's not going to be it's not going to be like the abilities as much. So I wouldn't pick Harbor just to do this strategy, because if you run into a play style that's opposed to yours, like they're denying your plants really well, or you can't get up into these positions, or they have really good retakes, you're just going to lose. So I would recommend not playing Harbor unless somebody on your team like actually has taken the time to learn them, and you only have a week. So
I've played Harbor before.
Yeah, so I just say that for most people. If you were to run a double controller, Clove's good because you can keep smoking this one. Like Clove smokes come back really fast, and she's kind of like the duelist controller. Like she can move around and get kills and stuff. So Clove can be, used as well. But Let me go to. Let's go to KJ real quick so you can see the KJ setup. So on attack, KJ's kind of the one holding the flank. You know, a turret like this is pretty good if you're defaulting B or you're rushing B, or you could throw like, you know, something like this turret. If you're rushing A, you can same thing works, or you could go further back like here. But you're basically just watching flank on attack, and then you're putting mollies on the bomb. Good KJ ults. KJ ult's really good. Like this one helps you get sight. Just make sure you have something for the back corner, and your team knows it. If you can get up to this space, say your A default's really good, and you always get up here. This one's even better because you get full sight. KJ ult's not as good as B, so I wouldn't do that. What's up?
One thing I do kind of want to clear up on this map is KJ the weak side player on this map, or is Viper?
The weak side usually, yeah. There's different
KJ's weak
setups.
side, or is Viper weak side?
KJ and Viper. I'll go over that in a second. I'm actually going over the defense now. Defense ults, this one's the best for retake. It gets basically the whole site, and you're forcing the enemies into a post plant. And what I would combo with this is a flank. But yeah, that's KJ ult. As for defense, this turret is the most common because it gets into pipes, and you usually like you just kind of have to be aware of your range. Like you can play kind of towards kitchen and B right here, and have view of this alarm bot here, and then mollies here, and then this is kind of like your setup here, your KJ setup. So that's a common setup. You could also do more of like an A setup where you go here, and then you play for mollies on A like this. This is like if you're fighting B, and then you play more like this. I think you could even, I've seen people go like that and then just play kind of in this position here. Right? So those are like your setups. Okay, so back to this. Let's look at, this is a way to fight A. I'm pretty sure this is the clip.
Including Asana's ult, and he used. Haven't really been able to get much value with those ultimates either.
Yeah.
If you layer it on this A side, it could be a good opportunity, especially with
Just focus on Kesnet here. You know, he's able to get up, take a first fight, dash out. He also has these smokes to get out. He's like, guys, when we're playing Icebox, and if we're playing strong side, we can't be back behind this line just chilling the whole entire game. We need to be either taking a peek. If we're far back, we need to be like active, taking a peek, maybe with an op or something. If we don't have an op, you know, like it's good to be in these positions, especially with these agents that can escape, like Jet and Reyna, where we're fighting pipes. We're fighting lower pipes, where maybe we get someone up into here. Maybe we Jet updraft with knives up here. This is very common, right? If we're strong side, we want to be active. If we're weak side, we want to be more passive. Just, you know, we're using this one way to deny the push, and then we're denying plant as much as we can. So just notice how the Jet here is taking these very smart fights, but they're aggressive.
Kesnet popped that dash early on.
But he double dips, almost dies because of it. Meanwhile, Xander exploring the western side of the map.
It's something he hasn't really done yet.
Right.
He's been so afraid to kind of take those 1v1s at B, which is, I feel like, a Viper's job on this map. You can't be afraid. Yeah, I know you're up against a Harbor and it's Mizzino. You know, I get it, but it's your job, it's your role. You gotta relieve some of that pressure.
The Thrash instantly popped, but Cryo there to exchange. And Verso dealing a little bit of damage, staying alive. The Reckoning will push this off so much. It's going to be...
The attackers notice there's 3 players here and probably 1 player B, so they're going to pivot. And look at this lurk that we get here.
He attempted to rotate B.
Yeah. This time, Xander deciding to take some of that space by himself.
He made his way over B. He might play spoiler. Is the Thrash going to check him? Yes, it will. Spotted, had Melser so cooked.
Wait.
This
Oh,
round.
no.
What?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
actually so bad.
tragic!
You're getting
Xander
benched, buddy.
dies because of it!
They lost the game because of
Yeah.
Bustio trying to take things into his own hands. Now it's a 2v3. Another aggressive post plant.
EU and Asuna. Asuna's spotting
No
all
way.
3 of them. EU on the swing down low, but he's gonna have to get all 3 by himself.
No way.
Let's look at Sova, okay? It's very simple stuff, guys. I'm not getting into any crazy lineups here, okay? On attack, if you're going A, you're defaulting A, just do a full charge up here. And then if the dart doesn't get anything, you can come down and you can if you have a teammate watching you can drone like this and then you clear sight just like this. See how I'm just getting like all of sight with this drone? Like that's the pathing that you want, okay? And then your post plant shot this actually works, but post plant shocks like that.
Oh, it does work.
And you always want to plant here, guys. Always want to plant here. Don't plant like here or whatever. Just plant under the zip, you know.